contact from SP, get a call or text. 10K affirmations. Imagine waking up one morning, picking up your phone, and seeing the one notification you've been hoping for, the call, the text, the message from your specific person. Before you dismiss that possibility, consider this. Every meaningful change begins in the mind. The stories you tell yourself, the emotions you practice, and the beliefs you reinforce each day shape the way you experience your relationships and your life. Today, we're exploring how affirmations can become a powerful tool for building confidence, releasing fear, and aligning your mindset with the kind of connection you genuinely desire. This isn't about forcing another person's choices or guaranteeing a specific outcome. It's about transforming the way you think, feel, and respond so that you become calmer, more secure, and more open to healthy communication. If you've ever found yourself checking your phone every few minutes, wondering when they'll reach out, this message is for you. Set aside your doubts for a while, breathe deeply, and allow yourself to imagine a future where you no longer live in uncertainty, but in quiet confidence. As we journey through these affirmations and ideas together, let each word remind you that your greatest power lies not in controlling someone else, but in mastering your own inner world. When your thoughts change, your energy changes. When your energy changes, your perspective changes. And sometimes, that shift opens the door to conversations, opportunities, and relationships that once seemed impossible. So stay with me until the very end, because today's session is designed to help you cultivate hope, strengthen your mindset, and step into the version of yourself who is ready to receive love, respect, and meaningful connection with confidence and peace. The greatest transformation begins the moment you stop treating your desire as something that exists somewhere in the future and start carrying yourself as if your life is already moving toward meaningful connection. When people long for a call or a text from a specific person, they often spend their days refreshing their messages, replaying old conversations, wondering what went wrong, or imagining the worst. This constant focus on what is missing can create anxiety, making every hour feel longer than the last. Instead, imagine waking up each morning with the quiet confidence of someone who believes that good things are possible. Picture yourself smiling because you know your worth does not rise or fall with a notification on your phone. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine hearing the familiar notification sound. Imagine unlocking your screen and reading a warm, thoughtful message. Feel the relief, the excitement, and the gratitude that naturally arise in that moment. Let those emotions settle into your heart, not because you know exactly what tomorrow will bring, but because practicing positive expectation can change the way you experience today. The purpose of this exercise is not to guarantee another person's action. Every individual has their own thoughts, feelings, and freedom to choose. Rather, the goal is to train your own mind to spend less time in fear and more time in hope, confidence, and emotional balance. When you repeatedly imagine yourself as calm, secure, and worthy of healthy communication, you begin to respond differently to life's uncertainties. You become less reactive, less desperate for immediate reassurance, and more capable of enjoying the present moment. Instead of asking, "Why haven't they contacted me yet?" you begin asking, "How would I feel if I already trusted that I am worthy of love and respect?" That question alone can shift your entire perspective. Your thoughts influence your mood, your posture, your tone of voice, and the way you interact with others. As your mindset becomes more peaceful, your relationships often become healthier because you are no longer driven primarily by fear of rejection. Every day offers another opportunity to strengthen this inner confidence. Rather than beginning the morning with worry, begin it with appreciation for the qualities that already exist within you: your kindness, your resilience, your ability to grow, and your capacity to love. Repeat affirmations that genuinely encourage you, such as, "I am worthy of healthy communication," "I approach relationships with confidence and patience," or "I welcome meaningful connections into my life." Let these words become reminders of the person you are choosing to become. Over time, they can help replace habitual self-doubt with a steadier sense of self-belief. Living from the end, does not mean pretending reality doesn't exist or ignoring challenges. It means refusing to let uncertainty define your identity. It means acting with dignity, taking care of yourself, pursuing your goals, investing in your friendships, and continuing to build a fulfilling life regardless of what happens next. Ironically, when your happiness is no longer dependent on one outcome, you often discover greater emotional freedom. Whether the specific person reaches out soon, later, or not at all, you have developed something far more valuable: a peaceful mind, stronger self-respect, and a life that is not held hostage by waiting. That inner transformation is a success in itself, because the version of you who trusts your own worth can welcome meaningful relationships with confidence instead of fear. From that place of calm assurance, every conversation becomes an opportunity rather than a test. Every day becomes a chance to grow, and every possibility is met with hope instead of anxiety. Your mind becomes stronger in the direction of the thoughts you practice most often. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you repeat thousands of thoughts. Some inspire confidence, while others quietly reinforce fear, doubt, or insecurity. If your inner dialogue constantly says, "They'll never text me, I've been forgotten," or "nothing ever works out for me," those thoughts can become deeply ingrained habits that shape your emotions and behavior. This is where affirmations become valuable, not because repeating words can control another person's decisions, but because repetition can help interrupt negative thinking and replace it with healthier, more constructive mental patterns. The idea of completing 10,000 affirmations is not about racing toward a number or believing that a certain count guarantees a call or message. Instead, it represents the power of consistent practice. Just as an athlete develops strength through repeated training or a musician improves through daily rehearsal, your mind can also be trained through repetition. Each affirmation is another opportunity to redirect your attention toward confidence, patience, and emotional stability. At first, the words may feel unfamiliar or even unbelievable, especially if you've spent a long time thinking negatively. That is perfectly normal. Real change rarely happens overnight. It happens gradually as new thoughts become more familiar than the old ones. Consider how often people unconsciously repeat their fears. Someone might spend hours imagining worst-case scenarios, replaying painful memories, or anticipating rejection. Those repeated thoughts become their mental soundtrack. Affirmations simply offer a different soundtrack, one intentionally chosen to support hope rather than fear. Instead of dwelling on uncertainty, you might repeat, "I am worthy of kindness and respect. I trust myself to handle whatever happens. Healthy relationships grow through honesty and mutual choice," or "I welcome positive communication into my life." These statements do not erase reality, but they can shift your focus away from endless worry. As your attention changes, your emotional experience often changes too. You begin to notice moments of gratitude instead of constantly searching for evidence that something is wrong. You become more present in your daily life instead of mentally living in tomorrow. The true purpose of affirmations is to transform the relationship you have with yourself. When you speak encouraging words consistently, you begin treating yourself with greater compassion. You stop measuring your worth by someone else's response time and start recognizing that your value exists independently of another person's actions. This shift can reduce anxiety and help you make wiser decisions in relationships because you are no longer acting from panic or desperation. If you choose to practice affirmations, do so with intention rather than pressure. Speak them slowly, understand their meaning, and allow yourself to reflect on the qualities you are trying to strengthen. Pair them with healthy habits such as journaling, mindfulness, exercise, or spending time with supportive friends. These practices work together to reinforce emotional well-being. Most importantly, remember that affirmations are not a substitute for honest communication, respect for boundaries, or accepting another person's freedom to make their own choices. They are a way of shaping your own mindset so that you approach life with greater confidence and resilience. Whether you repeat 10 affirmations or 10,000 over weeks and months, the real victory is not the number itself. The victory is becoming someone who no longer lives in constant fear of rejection, someone who trusts their own worth, remains open to genuine connection, and understands that lasting confidence is built one thought, one choice, and one day at a time. There comes a defining moment in every personal growth journey when you realize that chasing rarely creates the peace you are looking for. The more you force, the more you worry, and the more you try to control every possible outcome, the more exhausted your mind becomes. Many people who desire contact from a specific person unknowingly spend their days trapped in a cycle of checking their phone, analyzing every past conversation, searching for hidden meanings, and wondering why the message has not arrived yet. This constant state of waiting can slowly become an emotional habit, keeping your attention fixed on what you don't have instead of what you are building within yourself. Imagine how different life would feel if instead of chasing reassurance, you became someone who naturally radiates confidence, patience, and self-respect. That inner shift changes more than your mood. It changes the way you experience every day. Becoming the version of yourself who naturally receives meaningful connection begins with recognizing that your value does not depend on another person's response. A delayed reply, a missed call, or even silence does not define your worth. Your kindness, your character, your resilience, and your ability to grow remain with you regardless of someone else's choices. When you truly accept this, you stop seeking constant validation because you have started giving yourself the respect and encouragement you once expected only from others. This does not mean you stop caring about the relationship. It means you stop allowing uncertainty to control your emotional state. Instead of asking, "What are they thinking about me?" ask, "What kind of person am I becoming today?" That simple question redirects your energy toward growth instead of worry. Invest your time in learning new skills, improving your health, strengthening your friendships, pursuing meaningful goals, and creating a life that brings you satisfaction independent of any single outcome. Ironically, when your world becomes fuller and more balanced, you often feel less overwhelmed by the need for immediate answers. Confidence grows through action, not constant speculation. If affirmations are part of your routine, let them reinforce this healthier perspective. Repeat statements such as, "I respect myself," "I remain calm in uncertainty," "I attract relationships built on mutual respect," or "I am becoming the best version of myself each day." Speak these words not as commands to someone else, but as reminders of the qualities you are choosing to develop. Over time, these repeated messages can help replace anxious thought patterns with a steadier mindset. Remember, healthy relationships are built on mutual interest, honest communication, and respect for each person's freedom to choose. No affirmation or visualization can guarantee another person's decisions, but they can influence the way you respond to life's uncertainties. When you stop chasing and begin living with purpose, you become emotionally stronger, regardless of what happens next. You learn to appreciate each day instead of postponing your happiness until a notification appears. If the specific person reaches out, you will be in a healthier emotional place to respond thoughtfully rather than from desperation. And if life unfolds differently, you will still have gained confidence, self-awareness, and resilience that benefit every future relationship. True power is not found in trying to control another person's actions. It is found in mastering your own thoughts, emotions, and responses. The person who naturally receives meaningful connection is not someone who lives in constant expectation, but someone who lives with quiet confidence, genuine self-respect, and an open heart. When you become that person, you create the conditions for healthier relationships, while discovering that your greatest source of peace has been within you all along. One of the greatest obstacles to inner peace is not what is actually happening. It is the story we repeatedly tell ourselves about what is happening. When waiting for contact from a specific person, the mind often fills silence with fear. A few hours without a reply can become, "They don't care about me anymore." A few days can become, "I've lost my chance forever." Before long, imagined conclusions begin to feel like undeniable facts, even though they are only interpretations. This habit of creating fear-based stories can drain your confidence, increase anxiety, and cause you to react emotionally instead of thoughtfully. The first step toward changing this pattern is learning to recognize that a thought is not always a fact. Thoughts come and go, and many of them are influenced by past experiences, insecurities, or temporary emotions. Instead of automatically believing every fearful idea, pause and ask yourself whether there is real evidence for it, or whether your mind is simply trying to protect you from disappointment. That simple moment of awareness creates space for a healthier response. Rather than allowing fear to write the script for your future, choose assumptions that strengthen your peace and self-respect. This does not mean pretending everything is perfect or denying reality. It means intentionally directing your attention toward possibilities that encourage emotional balance instead of panic. You might remind yourself, I deserve honest and respectful communication. I can handle uncertainty with confidence. My worth does not depend on someone else's response, or I choose patience over fear. These statements are not promises about another person's actions. They are reminders of the mindset you want to cultivate within yourself. As you practice these empowering assumptions consistently, you begin to notice subtle but meaningful changes. You stop interpreting every silence as rejection. You become less likely to overanalyze every social media update or replay every conversation searching for hidden meanings. Your emotional energy is no longer consumed by trying to predict the future. Instead, you become more present in your own life, focusing on your goals, your relationships, your health, and your personal growth. This shift creates a stronger foundation for every area of your life, not just your romantic hopes. If you enjoy using affirmations, let them support this new perspective. Repeat them slowly and thoughtfully, allowing the meaning to settle in rather than rushing through them as though they were a checklist. Whether you choose to repeat them dozens of times or thousands over weeks and months, the purpose remains the same: to interrupt habitual self-doubt and reinforce healthier ways of thinking. Pair this practice with gratitude for the positive things already present in your life, because gratitude naturally broadens your attention beyond what feels missing. It reminds you that your life contains value, purpose, and opportunity even while some questions remain unanswered. Most importantly, remember that every relationship involves two people with their own thoughts, feelings, and choices. You cannot control another person's decisions, and trying to do so often leads to frustration. What you can control is the quality of your own inner dialogue, the way you care for yourself, and the respect you bring into every interaction. That is where genuine strength is found. When you replace fear-based stories with empowering assumptions, you are not changing someone else's mind. You are transforming your own. You become calmer, more resilient, and better equipped to navigate uncertainty with wisdom instead of worry. From that place of inner stability, whether the message arrives tomorrow, next week, or life leads you in an unexpected direction, you remain grounded in the knowledge that your value has never depended on a notification. Your greatest success is becoming someone who meets every outcome with confidence, dignity, and hope. As we reach the final part of this journey, remember one powerful truth. Lasting transformation begins within you. Whether your desire is to receive a call, a heartfelt text, or to reconnect with someone important, the greatest gift you can give yourself is the decision to become emotionally strong, confident, and at peace, regardless of the timing of any outcome. Many people spend so much energy waiting for one message that they forget to fully experience the life unfolding around them. They postpone their happiness until a notification appears, believing that one conversation will finally make them feel complete. But genuine confidence grows from a different place. It grows when you realize that your value has always existed within you, independent of anyone else's attention or approval. This understanding allows you to approach relationships from a place of wholeness rather than emptiness. If you enjoy practicing affirmations, let them become a daily reminder of the person you are choosing to become. Repeating encouraging statements over time can help shift your attention away from fear and toward resilience. Rather than focusing on trying to influence another person's choices, Use affirmations to strengthen qualities that serve you in every area of life. You might repeat, I deserve healthy and respectful relationships. I am becoming more patient and confident each day. I trust myself to handle whatever comes, or I welcome genuine connection into my life. These words are not guarantees of a particular outcome. They are intentional practices that reinforce a healthier mindset. Whether you repeat a handful of affirmations each day, or gradually reach a personal milestone, like 10,000 repetitions, the real achievement is the consistency with which you nurture your own emotional well-being. Alongside this practice, continue investing in your personal growth. Read books that inspire you, care for your physical health, develop new skills, strengthen your friendships, and pursue goals that bring meaning to your life. Every step you take toward becoming a more fulfilled and balanced person increases your confidence and reduces the feeling that your happiness depends on one external event. This does not mean giving up on the hope of meaningful communication. Hope can be a beautiful and motivating force when it is paired with patience, realism, and respect for the fact that every individual has the freedom to make their own choices. Healthy relationships are built on mutual care, honest communication, and willingness from both people. While you cannot control another person's decisions, you can always choose how you respond, how you care for yourself, and how you move forward with dignity. Trusting the process means allowing life to unfold without allowing uncertainty to consume you. It means continuing to smile, to grow, to learn, and to appreciate each day even while some questions remain unanswered. Ironically, when your attention shifts from constant waiting to meaningful living, you often discover a deeper sense of peace. You stop measuring your days by whether your phone lights up and begin measuring them by the progress you have made as a person. If the message comes, you will receive it from a place of emotional stability rather than desperation. If life takes you in a different direction, you will still possess the confidence, wisdom, and resilience you have developed along the way. That inner strength is something no silence can take away. So as you leave this message today, carry forward the belief that your thoughts, habits, and choices have the power to shape the quality of your life. Let patience replace panic, let confidence replace self-doubt, and let hope replace fear. Continue becoming the best version of yourself, because regardless of what tomorrow brings, the person you are becoming is your greatest success, and that transformation is a victory that will benefit every relationship and every opportunity that lies ahead.